moderated by all three of us. I will ask questions by rotating through. So I'll ask a question, then Laurel and Carlin will go back through. On that little iPad over there, we are recording your interview so that you can revisit that later and identify strengths, growth areas, and trends in your interview stuff. And then at the very end of the interview, we'll make sure we'll create some space, about 5 minutes or so, for you to ask any questions that you have of us about this interview, how it's used, IRA week, or if you want to run through any mock or role play questions that you'd ask an interviewer. Okay? That all being said, do you have any questions for us before we get started?
No.
Okay, great. Fabulous. So which of the job descriptions or the internship role descriptions in the back of your IRA packet did you select to gear your work towards?
I'm doing IT analysis.
IT role, thank you. Is that specifically the IT networking role or the network or the IT support role?
Support role.
Cool, great, thank you. I'm not a tech instructor, so sometimes I don't know
Yeah.
what those things mean.
I was actually project coordination a week ago,
Okay,
and then I got presented an opportunity to do an IT, so
okay,
I
great.
switched to IT, so it's just like, wow.
Okay, great, cool. They lend themselves well to one another,
Yeah.
so that's great. So that's helpful. Is there one or two questions that are geared toward that job description? So to start, Marco, I would like to ask you about what were you doing before Year Up, and what made you want to participate in this program?
So before Year Up, I was actually, in 2013, I graduated from high school, was attending community college for about a year and a half, but due to a living situation, I had to move out of state, and I moved to New Mexico, was out there for 4 months, and luckily I was able to move back to California, and I was living over in Davis. And when I was in Davis, I was not able to go to school, just, I didn't have the money. I was working part-time jobs. I was just constantly just working part-time jobs. I was stuck doing the same thing. I felt like I was, not doing anything productive with my life. But then I had an experience, a personal experience, where I saw my grandmother pass away, and I saw her in a way of a bird, and that gave me the ability to change my attitude and realize I'm 100% in control of my attitude. So as soon as I changed my attitude, at the time I was working 2 part-time jobs. I was a pizza delivery guy and a busser at a restaurant. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to be the best busser and the best pizza maker and pizza driver in the world. I'm going to have a smile on my face. And ever since that, opportunities have been coming right in front of me, and I've just been taking them. And I heard about Year Up from my mother, who actually ran into an old friend and told her about the program. And then my mom told me, hey, there's this program where they pay you to learn. And I was like, what? Can't be true. So I looked Year Up on the internet, and it looked legit. So I came to an info session, and sold me at the first info session, and I'm glad to be here.
Thank you.
Great. And why do you specifically want to work in tech?
I specifically want to work in tech because my long-term goal is to go back to school and pursue med school. And I've done a lot of networking, and I found out that now med school students are having to learn IT. And I actually found a mentor a few weeks ago, and he told me, do IT here at Year Up because you have the opportunity. Because I was going to go with project coordination because I didn't want to get so much into tech. And but I realized that I can have that advantage in the future if I have IT as my background. When I do go apply, I'll be, my application will be higher than others, and that's why I want to enter the IT.
So this next question has a few components of it. The first component is, what has been your biggest challenge or growth area during learning and development? And then the second part is, what did you do to overcome that? And then the third is, looking forward, in internship, what are you going to do to continue to grow in that area?
Can I have a minute to think like that?
Sure.
So I would say my biggest challenge that I faced was probably the time, because my commute is I'm commuting from Livermore, and so it's about an hour with driving and BART, and so I have to wake up at 4 a.m. just because of my living situation. I have to do things before I can actually attend here, and so that requires me to wake up earlier in the day to get all those things done. And I don't get home till around 5:30, 6 o'clock, and now I only have 4 hours before it's 10 o'clock in order to do deliverables and everything. Before because I need sleep in order to function, and so. In the beginning, it was very challenging. I was constantly tired, but I was able to realize what is important, and I cut off a lot of things that were unproductive and weren't going to benefit me in the long run. So I started making my priorities straight, as in my deliverables, using my time more wisely by doing work on BART when I can, spending my time, my downtime here as doing assignments instead of just hanging out outside on break and talking to people when I can start doing work and get ahead. So that's how I cope with it. And then, sorry, the last bit of that question?
What's your plan to make sure that you continue to grow in this area in internship?
And ever since I made that change, I've been consistent with my time. I usually get here about 45 minutes early every morning. I also stay, I have the coding elective, so I don't leave sometimes here from 5, 6 o'clock. But I make it work by just having my priorities straight, and I'm going to continue what I'm doing here at internship to make sure it works too.
Thank you.
So with that IT support role internship description in mind, what makes you a strong candidate for an internship in IT support?
I've always been eager to learn, and so I was able to learn how to make a website in 4 weeks, and I never thought I would be capable of doing that. And now, I'm learning JavaScript in the coding elective, and I see myself now going out of the way and teaching myself. And so with that, I totally blanked out on the question you said.
Yeah, so what makes you a good candidate for an IT support internship?
And so my critical thinking skills, I'm a quick learner, and so I adapt very easy to any environment. And so with that, I feel like at any internship, you have to fit in. You gotta be very observant. And with that, growing up, I grew up with a family of all women, and so I always had to have a different perspective, and that benefits me in the workplace because now I become more observant and see things from different shoes and different perspective, and that's what's definitely going to help me when I go internship too.
Thank you.
So I'm going to ask you a scenario-based question. I see you listed Excel on your resume. Can you talk about specific things that you can do in Excel, or how do you know how to use Excel?
So in Excel, I know how to get some data, create a chart, make it representable to whatever people are looking to get out of that. I know how to do a couple formulas so far, and I'm trying to teach myself. But for example, I know how to do the if, a couple, how to multiply, goal seeking, and that's about it for now.
Marco, can you describe a conflict situation that you've experienced in the workplace and how you handled it?
Yes. In my last role, I was working at Banana Republic, and I had a customer that I previously helped, and it was a busy Saturday afternoon, so we had a long line. I helped the customer, no problems. They left, and then 10 minutes later, they come back screaming at my face when I'm already helping another customer, saying like, "Oh, you guys have a discount this weekend. How come you didn't give me the extra 20% off?" And just constantly just yelling at my face, and I'm just like, ah. And I asked her, like, "Did you have a coupon?" And she's like, "Oh, no, I didn't have a coupon. I didn't know you had to have one." I was like, "Yeah, I can't offer you the sale if you don't have the coupon." And she's like, "Oh, that's not fair. I didn't know. How come I don't get these coupons in the mail then?" And so she was just making a big scene. And for our rules at Banana Republic, we're always told, if we have a problem, go to the manager first before we take action. And I was able to see that all the managers were busy, or they were in the back, and they wouldn't be able to be right there, right then and there. So I took the initiative of just returning their stuff and applying them their discount. So because our number one rule is to always, make the customer happy. You always want to make them leave in a way where they always want to come back. So I returned everything and just applied the discount, and then they left happily. And then I told my manager after, and he said that I did exactly what I should have done, just make the customer happy. And it was awesome that I did the right thing, even though I knew I was supposed to go to him, but it all worked out.
Thank you. That's a helpful example of a time that we provided customer service and had a successful human interaction when there is conflict. I would love to hear some more about your technical skills. Could you give me an example of a technically difficult project that you've worked on? What was your role? What did you do?
So yes, we had our first project was to create a website after we were learning, HTML and CSS, and it was so it was a Friday when I was working on the website here, and that was before we got really into Google Drive, and I never used Google Drive before, so for the first, I had all my assignments on a USB, so I can switch back and forth from home and here, and I come back that Monday and realized my USB was not in my backpack, so I was thinking it was somewhere here, I looked everywhere, couldn't find it, so 4 days for me to do a whole nother website and turn it in by that Friday. And I was stressing out. I was like, oh my god, like I had so much trouble trying to put it together. I got that far. How am I going to do it in 4 days? But I just took a deep breath and I realized that I was capable of doing everything. And so I was honestly done in like 2 days, and I was able to turn it in on time, and it all worked out. And I just had to sit back and relax and tell myself, I got this. I have resources, the Google, and it's like I was able to do it.
Great. And so that's a great example. And what are some specific strategies that you use to do that in 4 days? Because that is challenging.
I went back and looked at all the notes that we were presented to, the PowerPoint. I would ask a couple colleagues for help when I was stuck on, if my code wasn't working, when I was trying to do something, I would have people look over my code, and they were just all very helpful here.
Great. Thank you.
Thinking about working in a group, can you tell me about a time that you had to work with a group on a project and how you divided the work, maybe some challenges that you had to overcome?
Let's see. My most recent one would have to be the study guide for our RA packets. Our LC wanted to split each section between a couple people where everybody does a few questions, and then we upload them to a Google document. And when we're first trying to organize it, a lot of people were trying to take the lead and be like, okay, this group of people do this, do these, and do these, and do these. And like everybody was stressing out because like not everybody wanted to do those. People wanted to focus on their weaknesses. And then so I was actually the first one that stood out and says like, hey, like to be honest, I don't think this might work for everyone, because now we're assigning certain questions to people that they don't want to do or want to focus on really. So I think it's better off if we just do whatever we want, and then whatever questions we do answer, we just upload them to the Google Sheets, and then just compare and share from there. And that ended up working, and that's what actually happened at the end, instead of trying to everybody get a certain part of each questions and stuff.
So you still had every question was answered still?
Yeah, there was a few that didn't get answered, but for me, I did my own research. I answered every question, and there was a couple questions where I didn't know, so that's when I referred back to other people that did it, and so I was able to find those questions that I couldn't answer on there. It became very helpful for everyone because everybody was able to have a complete packet of all the answers.
Great.
Awesome. All right, so that's the end of